There are some encounters that stay with you long after they happen, not because anything violent occurred, not because anyone was hurt, but because years later, when you replay the memory in your mind, certain details refuse to fit together. This story begins when I was a freshman in college. A few days ago, I came home for a funeral. It was one of those quiet, emotionally draining trips where familiar places suddenly feel different. While unpacking some old things in my bedroom, I stumbled across an object I hadn't thought about in years. A flash drive. The moment I saw it, a memory from my senior year of high school came rushing back. Back then, I spent most study halls hiding in the school library. I was taking computer science, and the library happened to have 2 computers with software I needed for class. My laptop at home couldn't run it, so those machines became my unofficial workspace. One afternoon, I walked into the library expecting another quiet hour of coding. One of the computers was already occupied. Sitting there was a boy from my computer science class. Everyone knew who he was, even if nobody really knew him. He was unusually tall and painfully pale. Long black hair hung over one eye. He always wore the same ripped jean jacket over an anti-flag t-shirt and a pair of worn Doc Martens. He never joined conversations, never sat with anyone at lunch, never volunteered answers in class. Most people simply left him alone. Since the computer beside him was the only available one, I sat down. The reaction I got was immediate. He slowly looked up at me. Not annoyed, not surprised. The look he gave me felt closer to the expression someone might wear after witnessing a crime. My stomach tightened. I quickly looked away and pretended to search through my backpack, suddenly very aware of how awkward the silence had become. Then I heard it, a quiet chuckle, followed by a barely audible mumble. I froze. For a second I wondered if he had spoken directly to me. I kept my eyes lowered toward my backpack and listened. Nothing. The room returned to silence. Eventually I convinced myself he was talking to his computer. Programming assignments could be frustrating. Maybe he was muttering about code. Trying to break the tension, I logged into my account and forced a casual conversation. Our teacher assigns way too much homework, I said. I can barely keep up. He didn't look at me. His eyes stayed fixed on the monitor. Then he spoke. You want the answers, don't you? His voice was flat, almost emotionless. I laughed nervously. No thanks. I won't learn anything that way. The truth was, under normal circumstances I probably would have accepted help. But something about him made me uncomfortable. Not because he looked different, not because he was quiet. It was the way he stared. Whenever his eyes landed on you, it felt less like being looked at and more like being examined. A few seconds later he laughed again. The sound sent a chill through me. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But there was something unsettling about it. I actually closed my eyes and cringed. When I opened them again, he was gone. Completely gone. The chair beside me sat empty. At first I assumed he had gone to the restroom. Then I noticed something sitting beside the keyboard. A flash drive. Not an ordinary one, either. It looked like a miniature Swiss Army knife with a USB drive hidden inside. It was honestly one of the coolest flash drives I'd ever seen. I waited. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Study hall was almost over. He never came back. Finally, I slipped the drive into my backpack. I figured I'd return it during computer science class the next day. Except the next day came and he wasn't there. Then another day passed. Still absent. At first nobody thought much about it. He had a reputation for missing school. Weeks went by, then months. People stopped mentioning him entirely. By graduation, it was almost as if he had quietly vanished from existence. And somewhere along the way, I completely forgot about the flash drive. Years passed. I graduated, started college, moved on with life. The drive ended up inside a small storage box above my bed, buried beneath old school supplies and forgotten memories. Until the day I came home from college and found it again. At first, I only needed a spare flash drive for a business class presentation. Nothing more. I plugged it into my computer and ran a security scan. Clean. No viruses. No suspicious files. Everything appeared normal. My original plan was simple. Delete whatever was on it. Transfer my presentation. Move on. But curiosity got the better of me. After all, this drive had belonged to someone who seemed to disappear without explanation. So I opened the folders. The first one was labeled Computer Science. Inside were answers, not just a few assignments. Every assignment, every project, every solution, the entire course. I leaned back in my chair. Maybe that explained his strange comment. You want the answers, don't you? For a moment, I wondered if he had intentionally left the drive for me. Maybe he knew he wouldn't be returning. Maybe he wanted someone to find it. Maybe. The thought lingered as I opened another folder. This one was called Music. I expected heavy metal or something equally aggressive. Instead, there were only 3 songs. Running on Empty, White Rabbit, Helter Skelter. Just 3 files. Nothing else. It felt oddly deliberate, like each song had been selected for a reason. The room seemed quieter now. The only sound came from my laptop fan humming softly in the background. I clicked back. Another folder caught my attention. It had no title, just an empty, untitled directory. Inside were AP literature assignments, essays, drafts, random documents, mostly normal schoolwork. Then I found a file with a strange name. Curious, I opened it. The document contained page after page of handwritten scans. 10 pages. Every single page filled with the same thing. His first and last name. Written over and over again. Hundreds of times. Maybe thousands. The handwriting varied slightly from line to line, as if it had been written during different sessions. I stared at the pages. There was no explanation. No message. No context. Just his name repeated endlessly. The longer I looked, the more unsettling it became. I closed the file. Something about it bothered me in a way I couldn't explain. The room felt colder. Not literally, just emotionally. Like I was slowly uncovering pieces of a puzzle that wasn't meant to be solved. And then I opened the next folder. That's when things started getting truly strange. The folder contained photographs. Dozens of them. At first they seemed random. Pictures of classroom doors, hallways, corners of the school. Then I realized what I was looking at. He had photographed the emergency evacuation plans posted beside nearly every classroom. One after another. Every floor. Every wing. Every route. I clicked through them slowly. The feeling in my stomach grew heavier. Why would someone collect pictures of every escape plan in the building? I didn't have an answer. The next images were even stranger. One showed a lit cigarette lying on a bathroom floor. Nothing else. Just the cigarette. Another showed a handful of coins scattered across tile. Beside them sat a yellow sticky note. Written in thick capital letters were 2 words. Chump change. I stared at the image. It felt like a joke. Or maybe a message. But if it was, I couldn't understand it. Outside my bedroom window, evening shadows had begun creeping across the yard. The funeral trip had already put me in a reflective mood. Now I found myself sitting alone in silence, clicking deeper into a dead classmate's forgotten files. The atmosphere felt increasingly uncomfortable. Still, curiosity kept pulling me forward. I opened the next image. The second it appeared on screen, my pulse jumped. I recognized the person immediately. It was me. Not a selfie, not a group photo. A picture of me. I was sitting in class reading a book, completely unaware. The angle suggested it had been taken from across the room. I studied the background. Within seconds I realized something. The classroom was my English class. A class he wasn't enrolled in. I felt a knot form in my stomach. How had he taken that picture? Why had he taken that picture? And how many others were there? I checked the folder again. That was the only image of me. At least the only one I found. But it was enough. The room suddenly felt much smaller. I found myself looking over my shoulder despite knowing I was alone. The further I dug into the drive, the more questions appeared, and none of them had answers. Then I noticed one final document. Its title was short, simple, yet somehow more disturbing than everything else. The document was called Rest in Peace. 3 words followed by trailing dots. Nothing more. For a moment, I simply stared at the file name. A strange feeling settled over me. The kind of feeling you get when your instincts start whispering that maybe you should stop looking. Maybe some things are better left unopened. Still, I clicked. The document loaded. Blank. Completely empty. No text. No images. Nothing. Just a white page. I refreshed it. Still blank. I checked again to make sure the file had loaded correctly. Nothing. The emptiness somehow felt worse than if there had been something written inside. Because now my imagination started filling in the gaps. Why create a file called Rest in Peace? And leave it empty? Who was it meant for? Was it unfinished? A joke? A note never completed? Or was there never supposed to be anything inside at all? I sat there for a long time staring at the screen. The house was quiet. My family moved around downstairs while evening settled outside. But my attention remained fixed on that blank document. As I thought back through everything I'd found, the pieces refused to fit together. The homework answers, the strange music collection, the endless pages of his own name, the evacuation maps, the bizarre photographs, the hidden picture of me, and finally, that empty file. The strangest part is that I still don't know what happened to him. After that day in the library, he never returned to school. At least not that I ever saw. Nobody explained his disappearance. Nobody seemed to know where he went. Eventually, life moved forward and people stopped asking questions. But years later, opening that flash drive brought all of it rushing back. Sometimes I wonder if he intentionally left it behind. Sometimes I wonder if losing it was exactly why he disappeared. And sometimes, late at night, I think about that photograph. The one taken in a classroom he never attended. The one showing me reading quietly, completely unaware that someone was watching. Then I remember the blank document titled "Rest in Peace." And I find myself wondering whether it was meant as a joke, or whether it was supposed to contain a name. A name that, for some reason, was never added. A mystery buried inside a forgotten flash drive. One that remains unsolved to this